clicked on this video, that means you want to be an actor, which is so exciting. What a fun journey you are about to embark on. Just some housekeeping. This video is more so for brand new beginners, has no idea about the film and television industry, is super green, doesn't know any of the basics. So if you're a bit more advanced than that, I am planning on making subsequent videos that you might find helpful, but this one is going to be for brand new beginners because I got a few questions on my previous video where I talked about being an extra on Stranger Things, and some people just didn't know where to start. So this is that video. Another thing, I'm assuming that everyone that I am talking to is over the age of 18, but if you are under the age of 18, I'm gonna have a little snippet at the end addressing you and how you might go about starting your acting journey. I'm gonna throw a lot at you, but I'm gonna try and break it up into chapters so you can come back to this video and reference it anytime you need. But with that, let's hop into it. Number one, the first thing if you are thinking about being an actor is you need to get into class. And this was a very hard pill for me to swallow, and it's a hard pill for other people that I've seen. I don't know why everyone is so against getting into class, but here's the thing. Number one, you need to decide if you even want to be an actor, because watching TV and imagining being in it and being a big star and actually doing the work is so much different. You might not even like it. So if you've never been in a play or you've never been on camera, you need to get into class. And I've heard people reference, celebrities or famous actors that didn't have any formal training. They weren't in class. One that comes to mind is Jennifer Lawrence. But I need you to ask yourself genuinely, are you as good of an actor as Jennifer Lawrence? How would you know that? Have you been on camera? Maybe you are, like truly, maybe you are a savant when it comes to acting, and that's so amazing, and I'm really happy for you, but you need to figure that out. And the thing is, acting is not an independent practice. It's not something that happens in a vacuum. There's a classic saying that's become a bit cliche, but acting is reacting. Like, acting is about working with someone else. And how can you do that if you're just in your room practicing monologues? That's not the best use of your time, in my opinion. Now, there are a lot of different types of classes, but if you've never done anything before, any acting before, I would definitely suggest a scene study class. And if you've never been on camera before, they also have on-camera classes. I think that's a great foundation to start. And there are so many different acting techniques that you should be at least a little familiar with. Meisner, Stanislavski, Strasberg, and taking different classes and learning different techniques will just add to your toolbox of things to pull from when you do book the big jobs. Another great option is to join community theater. I love community theater. I've done a few productions in my local community theater company, and it's a great way to meet people. The classic thing in Hollywood, it's about who you know. How are you going to meet people if you're just in your room? Class and community theater is a great place to meet people that are on the same journey as you. I saw a comment on one of my TikTok videos where I was talking about how to be an actor, and they said, I just don't want to be judged. She was scared that she would be judged in class, and my rebuttal to that was, being an actor is being judged. So if you have that apprehension, this might not be the best career path for you. I would argue class is the place where you will be judged the least, because they know that you're learning. Everyone in there is learning. It's when you get out of class, when you're going on auditions, when you're booking jobs, when you have eyes on you, that's where you'll be judged. You won't be judged in class. Not really. Not if you're in a good class. Get in class, get in class, get in class. I'm in class. Some of your favorite actors are still in class. In my opinion, it's very important to get that foundation. Now that you are signed up for class, I need you to start intentionally watching TV if you aren't already. You need to start thinking about the tone of different TV shows. There's just more TV than there are movies. So I would say getting to know the tone of different TV shows is really important, because when you start getting those auditions, you'll already be ready. The tone of a multicam Disney show is way different than a Hulu comedy, or the tone of a procedural network television show is a lot different than an HBO drama. So the next time you're watching TV, look at the pacing. How quickly are they speaking the dialogue? Is it bop, 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 back and forth, or do they take a lot of time? Are there a lot of pauses? Is it close on the actors' faces a lot of the time? Is it wide a lot of the time? How big are they performing? If you watch, now if you're a beginner, you might not know these terms that I'm using. So a multicam are usually the shows shows with laugh tracks or live studio audiences. It's usually performed on a sound stage that is almost like a theater. Like it's almost like a live performance. Think Disney Channel, Big Bang Theory, some of like the older sitcoms. That, because it's so similar to theater, they're performing so big. If you watch a Disney show, like these characters are acting almost like caricatures. Every reaction is super big. Every joke hits so hard, but with some of the more like streaming comedies, it's a bit more nuanced. So figuring out those differences in different shows will go a long way and put you way ahead of your competition. There is this term in the entertainment industry, and I believe it's used in different industries as well, but it's called being green. And it's not a good thing. So being green is basically you are brand new. You don't know a lot. You don't know about the industry. You don't know the unspoken rules, that sort of thing. And you want to stop being green as soon as possible. It is so easy to tell if you don't know what you're talking about. And it's so easy to tell if you're brand new. And listen, we all started somewhere. So it's okay that you don't know anything, but we just have to work double time to kind of get up to speed. The easiest way to do that is to read books and listen to actor podcasts. 2 books that I really liked, and I probably will reread this year because like I said, I myself am getting back into the swing of things. One of them is The Actor's Life by Jenna Fisher. She played Pam on The Office. This is more so a guide to be an actor. I'm assuming it'll be just a little bit dated because she obviously wrote this before self-tapes were really big, but it's still a helpful thing to read. Another one that I liked is Fine on Acting, A Vision of the Craft by Howard Fine. This was recommended to me by one of my acting teachers, and I just find myself coming back to it a lot. This is more so about the craft of acting, but I still think that it's helpful. Please start listening to podcasts, please, because I'm so sorry. I'm gonna show a bit of tough love in this video, but there is such a thing as a dumb question outside of class. Like, please don't go to industry people and ask what the difference between an agent and a manager is. Like, that's a dumb question. So sorry, it is. That is something you can easily look up. If there's any question that you can easily look up, or if you listen to a podcast, it's something that will be very quickly addressed, please don't ask it. You look green. Like, you don't look professional at all. And listen, I've been there. There was a time where I didn't know what a publicist was, and I kind of made a fool of myself because I made an assumption that wasn't true. I've been there. But looking back, I'm like, golly, like, that's so silly of me. Listening to podcasts is a great thing. So my favorite podcasts are One Broke Actress. She is taking a bit of a hiatus because she's working on another podcast called Working Actor Life with Gabrielle Bin-Loss. I'm talking about Sam Valentine. That's another podcast that I've been loving. So I kind of just transitioned with her. But she has a lot of stuff on One Broke Actress, and that's a great place to start. Another one is Audrey Helps Actors by Audrey Moore. That is probably one of the most famous actor podcasts, and if you're not listening to it already, I definitely recommend it. She talks about the industry and the union, a lot of things that you as an actor should be aware of. A couple others are In the Envelope by Backstage, which I will talk about in a minute, but they interview celebrities and talk about how they got started and what they did, and it's very educational. But another one, because I know some people really don't like the business side of acting, which you have to know about the business side, but I understand if you just don't like it. Another podcast is called Smartless. It's by Will Arnett, Sean Hayes, and Jason Bateman. It's a more conversational, and they have different celebrities come on every podcast, and usually they do talk about how they got started, but in a bit more of a conversational format, and it's less focused on the acting side of things. So if that's more approachable to you, that might be a good one for you. The thing about acting is there are 2 separate categories to it. There's the art of acting, and then there's the business side, and you kind of do have to learn both. So I feel like class is going to help you take care of the art side of it, and the podcasts about the behind the scenes business side of it is going to take care of that pillar. So it's about learning the 2. Another easy thing to do is to follow other actors on social media. I personally follow a lot of actors that I've met over the years in classes. I also follow the actors that I mentioned with podcasts. It's really interesting to see truly how small this industry is and to kind of be a part of it, because it is small. Like, it's interesting because I'll start to follow someone that I met in a new class and see that they follow someone that I met years ago in another class. And like, we all are just in this industry together, floating around. And it's fun to support each other and see how we all connect. And also, whatever they decide to share, it's interesting to see their headshots, who they shot with, their audition process, their self-tape setup, just all those different things is really interesting. The only caveat I will say is do not compare yourself to what you see on social media. Of course, what people post is going to be their wins and their high moments, but this industry is a marathon, not a sprint. There are high peaks and low valleys, and just remember, you cannot compare your everyday to someone's best day on social media. Okie dokie, you're in class, you're reading books, you're listening to podcasts, you're getting to know the industry. So now we can talk about what you need. What you need for your portfolio. So there are 3 major things that go into it: headshot, reel, and resume. Resume is a little less important now that we're straying away from in-person auditions. And I'm assuming since you're brand new, you don't have material for your reel. So the most important thing to have are headshots. Another very quick way to tell if someone's green is if they're using a selfie on casting websites for their headshots. Like, please, please. Or if they're using the JCPenney, like, very washed out backdrop, you know, that they got 2 years ago. And if you are one of those people, no tea, no shade, listen, we all started somewhere. But I will tell you, getting professional headshots will go a long way. So we can get pretty nuanced with it when it comes to type. So your type is essentially how you look and how you present and what category that fits into. For example, I know that my type will never be the sexy vixen or the cool biker chick or the edgy emo girl. I know that. I know that I do not present that way. People do not look at me and see that. I know I give girl next door and quirky best friend and girly and that sort of thing. Start looking for your type as you intentionally watch TV. Find people that look like you, see what they're wearing in the shows that you're watching. Start to become more cognizant of that. But for right now, your headshots honestly just need to look like you. So usually what I do when I'm prepping for a headshot shoot is I will go on Instagram or go on TikTok and look at headshots, and anyone that looks remotely like me, so a ginger girl in her 20s, I will save to a category called headshots, and I'll just see what they did. What did they wear? What was their backdrop? What did I like about it? Are they smiling? Are they moody? Who did they shoot with? That's a big one. And if you're thinking, oh my gosh, Paxton, like I know I need headshots, but I just don't know how to pose, I promise it's their job to direct you. They're literally seeing you through the camera and they are seeing what the photo will look like. They will give you little directions on what to do to get the shot that you want. It'll be as simple as tilt your head down a little bit, now a little up, smile a little more, put your arm out, elbow towards me. It'll be slight adjustments. I promise it's their job to tell you how to pose. So if you have no idea how to pose, just say that. Just be like, this is my first headshot shoot. I'm a little nervous because I don't know how to pose. So if you wouldn't mind giving me a little more direction than you normally would, I would really appreciate that. Communicate. It's okay. It is okay. We all started somewhere. It's okay. You also have to remember that when you're being submitted to auditions, your photo shows up that big. It is so tiny on their computer screen, and they are seeing hundreds of headshots along with yours. So you might not want a super far away shot, or like just because you like the photo doesn't mean that it's going to serve the purposes that you need it to. Okay, you're in class, you have headshots. Now where do you put them? I mentioned Backstage earlier. Backstage is a casting website. There are quite a few casting websites. There's Backstage, Actors Access, LA Casting, although now I think they're known as Casting Networks, if I'm not mistaken. But here's the thing about this journey that you are starting. Acting is a very expensive hobby before you start making money from it. Honestly, even when you start making money from it, it's so expensive. All the costs of everything adds up. Class, headshots, reel footage, the submission websites, IMDb Pro, all the things. It's so expensive. I would say if you're just starting out, Backstage is the #1 website you should be on. It's very approachable. The interface is very intuitive. You just put up a headshot or two, however many you feel comfortable with. You put your skill level, maybe you write a little bio, and then immediately you can start submitting to jobs that fit your criteria. But I would say until you're a bit more advanced in this career, you can hold off on the other ones, in my opinion, because right now you are non-union and you're brand new. So what you're looking to book are student films, and a lot of student films are on Backstage. I think all of my student films that I booked were through Backstage, and I just think it's the most beginner friendly. Another option is honestly background work. I made a video on how I was a background actor on Stranger Things, and it was really fascinating to be on such a high caliber set. You kind of saw all the moving pieces. So it is a good option if you just want to get on set and kind of get to know what that's like. Central Casting is the main background, I guess, agency or place that background actors get cast from. Another one, if you're in the Georgia area, is called Casting Tailor Made. That's how I got my Stranger Things job. But you can also look on Facebook. There is some extra work on Backstage. It's a good option because it's a very, very low stakes job. You don't have any lines. You kind of do what they tell you, but you get a behind the scenes of how a set works, which is super exciting. And again, helps you be less green because you're just learning more. I want to quickly talk about how to avoid scams because the reality is, like a lot of the world, there will be people that will try and take advantage of you, especially take advantage of the fact that you don't know better. The main one that I see are these so-called agents asking for money up front with the guarantee that they will get you jobs. That's not how that works. No professional agent will ever ask you for money up front. How an agent gets paid is after you book a job, they get 10% of your paycheck. If you have a manager, it's the same thing, they get 10%. But managers are a bit more advanced, so I'm just gonna refer to agents at this point in time. But also if a manager is asking for money, no industry professional will ask you for money up front unless it's in exchange for a service like headshots or like a reel footage. But if it's with the promise of getting you booked in on jobs and things, no, that's a scam. They're taking advantage of you, especially if they're asking for thousands of dollars up front. If they're saying, oh, but we're gonna put you in classes and we're gonna get you headshots. Personally, I wouldn't trust that. Obviously, use your discernment, but that's a no from me. Agents choose the actors that they want to represent with the intention that after a while, they'll start making them money because they're gonna start booking jobs. So for now, you honestly don't need to worry about agents. Also, if a class or a seminar is over thousands of dollars, run, please run. The information that you need does not cost that much money. For full transparency, my class, I'm taking a monthly class and it's $200 a month for 4 classes. And then my other class that I'm in, it's a 2-month class and it was like $395, I want to say, $375. Run. If someone's asking for thousands of dollars, run, please. Do not waste your money. Okie dokie, I threw a lot at you. You have a lot of homework that I'm giving you, but this is so exciting. Now, a quick note, if you are under the age of 18, this might be hard to hear, but you need to talk to your parents about it or your guardian of whatever kind. Most agents and most jobs won't let you work if your parents aren't involved in some way. And how it was growing up for me in California is your school actually needs to sign off on a work permit in order for you to book jobs and work, because that's the thing that people forget. This is a job. So there are like legal things involved. Like if you're under the age of 18, you can't work a certain amount of hours. You have to go to set school, things like that. It's a lot easier if you have your parents' support. And in reality, like I said before, acting is a very expensive hobby and your parents are gonna have to pay for that most likely. There are also complicated things like Coogan accounts and things like that. So I would say talk to them first before any of this, but also join musical theater. Like join theater at your school or something. That's how I fell in love with acting. I did a few things when I was younger and then I really fell in love with it when I did theater. So just decide if you like it or not. Have fun, start working on the tools. But the biggest thing I think is you need your parents' permission. Sorry. But who knows? Maybe they're super supportive. My parents were. My dad was super supportive of that. So you never know. Thank you so much for watching. Congratulations on this super fun journey. It can be difficult and heartbreaking sometimes, but it is so rewarding, especially if this truly is your dream like it is mine. Let me know if you have any specific questions and I'll try and answer them in the comments below. You can ask stupid questions if you need to. This is a safe space where I am trying to help in any way I can, but I think I have blabbered for long enough, so I'll let you go, but thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, friends.